Unlike the computer, iPod, smartphone or tablet, the smartwatch hasn't taken off the way tech companies may have hoped. The smartwatch has existed in some form or the other since the early 1980s, but took its current popular form 2 years ago with the launch and success of the affordable Pebble smartwatch. I did review the most popular smartwatches, but instead of the question, which smartwatch should I buy, another question popped up in my mind. I'm Steven, and in this video I'll answer the question, what can a smartwatch do for you? And do we really need another blinking and vibrating display on our body? To be honest, I'm really smartphone addicted. The first thing I do in the morning is checking my smartphone, and when I can't check my smartphone for more than like 15 minutes, I get a strange feeling like I would miss something. At this point I said stop, I need to change something. Life is just so much more than just staring on a stupid display. And I know most people consider this channel as a review channel, but I don't want to be a product whore that just praises everything it gets. I want to ask you a different question today, and this is, do we really need wearables? And what can we do with them? So I picked some of the latest smartwatches to show you the features and how I use them. There are many different smartwatches. Some run full Android, like the number one D7, and some have Android Wear's operating system, which is Android optimized for wearables, and some have their own crappy operating system like MediaTek's Nucleus OS. Now, to be honest, if you want a smartwatch as your daily companion, I would pick one with Android Wear 2.0. Android Wear 2.0 is far away from being perfect, but it gets closer to what I would classify as a good wearable operating system. For example, number one D7 is a really interesting and cheap smartwatch, even though it does not run Android Wear because it runs a full Android operating system. Basically, that's nothing different than a smartphone in a watch chassis, and also it got a SIM card slot to do calls or even use WhatsApp. Yes, WhatsApp on your smartwatch. Full Android means that you can install every application you want to. Now, it's not really something that makes sense because the apps are not optimized for a smartwatch. That means some of the buttons won't be usable or have big issues with the compatibility and crash. The incredible thing is that smartwatch costs only $80. Okay, you see that it is a cheap watch because the metal ring and the strap feels not really like on a premium product. But well, why is it so cheap? Well, it gets produced in China where the development, labor and materials are cheaper than in Europe, so relatively cheap. We already filmed a smartphone factory tour a few months ago, and the working conditions are absolutely nice, so they're really good. But it's a tough and very boring work, I guess. Also, those products have a very short product cycle and new models get pushed out very fast. So number one is a really big player in the smartwatch business and exists for many years, when even I was new to the China phone scene. I also reviewed the number one D5, D5 Plus, and the video got a lot of views, and it seems that also many people have bought this watch. So quality wise, those cheap watches also feel a bit cheap, but well, they are fully working. But what can you do with them? Now you can do everything what you can do in Android with it. It comes with a dual-core processor, the MTK6572, IP65 waterproof rating, so splash water resistance. We have Android 4.4 KitKat, we have 1GB RAM, 8GB ROM, NFC, finally, and a 500 mAh battery. 500 mAh doesn't sound a lot, but on a smartwatch, it's actually a big battery. One thing that's very important for me is the battery life. I really hate it when I have to charge my device more than once a day. And with this smartwatch you get around a day of usage, but it really depends on how you use the watch, which is impressive. If you think about the other specs inside, because it's basically like a smartphone. Now you can insert a SIM card on the bottom side where you can also find the charging port and the heart rate monitor. This gives you the ability to do calls with the watch over the included microphone and speaker. You know, like Knight Rider, and it looks kind of weird and retarded, and I wouldn't use that feature anyway. Now you can get notifications from any app you want, which you need to specify in the phone companion app. But to be honest, do you really need another vibrating thing on your wrist? Now, after a week using it, I felt so damn stressed. Because there was always something vibrating on my arm all the time. And it's not like you can put your phone away, but you can't really take off the watch because you know it's a watch, it's always on your wrist. That's why I disabled all the notifications. The SIM card allows you to have mobile internet, so just in case if there is no Wi-Fi near you. But also I just thought, why? Why do you need internet on such a small screen? Now, okay, to download applications, blah blah blah, but there is a web browser and, well, the web browser is useless because the keyboard and everything is so small that I just can't use it. I couldn't even log in with my Google account because, I can't access the button at the bottom. It's really just a gimmick for me. I mean, it's absolutely cool, don't get me wrong, it's nice what you can do with tech, but is it really useful? No. Something turned out to be really cool, and that's a remote shutter for the camera, which gives you full control over the camera on your smartphone, and that can be really handy. Now, if you're interested in checking all the features of the watch, then check Smartwatch Tricks, links down below, who explains everything about the watch in like 2 hours. Now for me, I just use such a smartwatch for the style, that's it. I disable all the notifications, hell I don't even activate Bluetooth. That gives me more than a day battery life, and also a cool watch with a nice display on my wrist. I personally think that full Android smartwatches are just a gimmick and a waste of money. Now for me, a smartwatch makes only sense if you really like notifications, use NFC a lot, or like to be informed and send short replies like a thumbs up in Facebook without having to take your phone out of your pocket, for instance while driving. But just let me know down below in the comments on how you are using your smartwatch and how it improves your daily life, because even as a techie guy, I don't see any benefit in my daily life. Since a few weeks I'm back into sports and I like running. A huge motivation boost is for me that I can track my activity with my watch and also check my heart rate. But to be honest, I would never use a cheap Chinese watch for that. Now, for instance, a Mi Band, okay, yeah, that's working actually perfectly nice, but if you want to track your route, then GPS is usually very weak, drains a lot of battery, and the heart rate is not the most accurate one. I'm personally using the Polar M600, which as you can see has a very good heart rate sensor straight out of the box, also without a belt, good GPS performance, and also features Android Wear. I mean, it's not that stylish, so not really something I would just wear for dinner, but the functions are more for me important than the design and the price. This smartwatch is really what I can recommend if you're using a watch when you're doing sports, because it also has a great app to track your activity and runs the optimized Android Wear OS 2.0 instead of full Android, which results in a lower power consumption, more shortcuts and mobile orientated features. Now for sure you can't insert a SIM card or install all the apps like on your smartphone, but Android Wear gets better and better, and more apps are coming along with the new Android Wear updates. So Google's wrist OS is improving at a steady pace, but still isn't the right fit for everyone. Aside from the weak app selection, it holds its own against the Apple Watch, but I believe that Android Wear will soon be even better than the Apple Watch OS. Stay tuned. Alright guys, so we're now here at the end of this video, and here comes my final conclusion about smartwatches. Well, I've tested so many smartwatches in the past, from the very cheap like $10 Chinese smartwatches to very expensive smartwatches like the Huawei watch, Galaxy Gear S3, the Suunto Spartan, which is like almost $1,000, and I mean smartwatches are very cool. I love the style, I absolutely love it. If you show it to people, you can change the clock face and depending on your feeling and what you want to see on your display. But I think smartwatches are still not there. Like also you have to recharge it every day or almost every day. I mean 2 days with that are possible, but only if you don't use all the features. Then also notifications, I mean you can fully control the notifications, but still, I don't know, it annoys me if my wrist is vibrating. And yeah, you could put your phone on do not disturb mode, you could switch off notifications and just use it without it, but well, then why do I need a smartwatch? Just to check the time? Well, for sure you have other applications, but the only important things would be like, for me, the sports aspect, like to have GPS on your watch, that I don't have to bring my smartphone to my running activities. And there are also some smartwatches where you have a music library in the internal memory where you can use Bluetooth earphones. That's absolutely awesome for sports. But I still think for my daily life there is nothing what a smartwatch could improve or add some extra value. Like, I can do all the things on my phone, but still, I love the style. I love it for doing sports, but everything else, I mean, NFC in Austria, if you want to pay anywhere with NFC, it's almost not possible. So we're also still not there. But if there would be many payment options with NFC and all that, I would also use it. But right now, well, kind of useless for me, except of sports and all those things. But still, I think Android Wear smartwatches are definitely better than full Android smartwatches. But if you want to try a smartwatch for the first time, if you like to play around and tinker with all the things, you can try a full Android smartwatch. But they are not super optimized, and Android Wear is definitely better in every aspect. And also, as you've seen, the tiny screen, you can write messages, you can do a lot of stuff, but it's a gimmick. With my big hands, I can't type a single word without like 2 faults, and it's absolutely not practical, and yeah, nothing I would use on a daily basis. But still, it's absolutely impressive what you can get for 80 bucks from China. Our number one has even cheaper watches, but they were really crappy in the past. All in all, I have to say, yeah, for sports, I can recommend the Polar M600, but if you don't rely on the things I've told you before, then just think about if you really need a smartwatch, or if you just want it for the style. If you just want the style, well, go for it. I mean, it looks absolutely beautiful. Alright guys, thank you so much for watching this video. If you like this episode of The Truth About, we also have 4 other episodes, and you can find the playlist down below in the description. And if you want to stay tuned about future Truth About videos or anything on our channel, please make sure to subscribe and also maybe like this video and post a comment down below. I'm Steven from Tech Magnet, and I'll catch you in the next one. Have a nice day!